Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. How's everybody doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome to Financial Freedom Friday. It's Gus Tucker. We're excited to be here with you. How's your week going? Huh? How's your week going? Are you fired up and excited about your life? As a friend of mine used to say, this is not a dress rehearsal, y'all. This is not a dress rehearsal. So as we used to say, we got to get to getting. Okay? So we're going to talk to you today a little bit about your financial freedom. And if you see there at the bottom, Financial Wisdom Group, that's the name of my firm, and we're part of the Financial Pro Network. This is a new network of financial professionals that we started back in September. And there's several hundred of us. We're stretched across the country and we're growing like crazy. And our whole goal is to help 20 million families create financial independence and financial security by 2030. And we'd like you to be one of them. And this shows like this and the educational product that we're going to be putting out is a part of that process. That's our vision, is to educate families on how to win financially and then to support them in doing that. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to get this presentation up and go ahead and knock this conversation out. And look, here's the thing. I'm unapologetically a Black American. And I did my DNA. My heritage is 43% Nigerian, another 25% West African, and 25% European. Now you know what happened, don't you? Okay, so I really, really, really want to see people of color win financially. Okay, because the cards have in the past have been stacked against us, but I'm not a victim and neither are you, and we're not going to act like one. Every month is what? Black History Month. Every month is Black History Month because every month Black people are making history and we're writing our history. And if we don't know our history, we'll be doomed to what? Repeat it. Part of that history is in 1865 when the proclamation was when slavery was abolished. We had less than 1/10 of 1% of the wealth in America, and that number hasn't changed much in over 160 years. Why is that? Because we got to start doing some things a little different and start building Black financial institutions and institutions owned by people of color. And right now is a very strategic time that is happening all across America. Black people are buying banks, running investment companies, running entrepreneurial ventures, and involved in many, many things that have the potential to really drive our wealth as a group forward. There's some things we need to do personally to make sure we're in a good place. Okay. And I want you to sit. What you see is from where you sit. Perspective makes all the difference. You can't choose everything that happens to you, but you can choose how you interpret what happens to you. That's your perspective. Okay. And I encourage you to see yourself from a perspective that is the same perspective that God has. I don't know what your, and I'm not talking about religion. Okay. I'm not a religious person per se, but there is a spiritual realm that you can't see that impacts the world that you can see. And there are principles, there are truths that are at work in our visible world that we need to understand. And if we will adhere to those principles, we can win in life. And one of those principles is this be, do, have principle. which is based on God's command to Adam in Genesis. It says, be fruitful, multiply, fill the earth, subdue it, and rule it. Be fruitful. The thing about fruit, how do fruit multiply? They multiply with seeds. And the seed that's in the fruit, when you consume the fruit, right, you eat the fruit. Usually we don't eat the seeds. What do we do with the seeds? We spit them out. But if you plant those seeds, consumption can create reproduction and replenishment of what you just ate. So what you've created is a valuable product called that fruit that could be harvested and then used to create an income. But here's the thing. God has put a seed inside of you. And what is that? Your gifts and talents, your abilities. He's put those inside of you so that you can solve problems that this world has. And in doing so, you can get compensated. Okay? And we'll be offering, starting May, a whole program around understanding who you are, how God has made you, and what your purpose is, and to give you some support in figuring that out and making sure you're on purpose, because it's going to be called purpose-driven provision. We've talked about a little bit about that. And the whole idea is this. If God put you here on the planet, and I believe he did, and he put a purpose inside of you, that purpose was to solve problems. Everything that creates income for you is the solution to a problem. Your job is the solution to a problem. Because if it wasn't, they wouldn't pay you to do it. Because if you didn't do your job, if it didn't get done, that would cause a what? A problem to the person that owns the business that you're involved in. So you're already solving problems. The more important the problem, daughters, you solve, and the more people you solve it for, the more money you make. So you need to understand, I need to understand, we all get to understand and discover that seed that God has put in us, because he wants us to multiply it, not add, multiply it. Fill the earth, subdue it, and to rule, and not to be burdened down with worry and fear and things like that. You understand what I'm saying? So look for us coming in May, okay? This is the year of the Lord's favor, 2024. Why is that? Because every year is the year of the Lord's favor. You know, we're in the springtime, and Easter's coming up next week. It's a big time for certain people because they celebrate the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus Christ. And that whole concept is not a religious concept. There was a governmental shift that happened. The King of the Jews, Jesus, died, and then he was resurrected. And there were some spiritual transactions that happened that put man in a different place after Jesus rose than before he did. And some of those principles are the ones we're going to talk about in May that you can apply to your life and win financially. So here's something. Now, this QR code is to book time to connect with me to talk about some of these ideas. Now, the thing about financial security and creating financial security for yourself, it's got to start with making money. And there are four basic ways to make money. Okay, it's as an employee, a self-employed person, a business owner, or an investor. An employee has a job. You either get paid salary or commission. They don't pay you what you're worth. They pay you what the job's worth. Self-employed, you basically own your own job. Your limitation there is your ability to create income. You only got so many hours in the day. You can only charge so much for what it is that you do. And so you have an imposed limit. How do you take that limit off? You build a team. You become a business owner that does two things. It builds a team and builds system. Builds a team and builds a system. I'm reading a book right now called Scale or Fail. And it's all about scaling a business so you're not doing everything in it, self-employed, and you can create an unlimited income. So business owners know how to scale a company, make it bigger, and not have all the work depend on them like a self-employed person, and then have a system that makes it work. Investors understand okay, business teams and systems and industry so they can invest in them. So they pick the winning business teams and business systems and they invest in them. Amazon is a business system. Facebook is a business system. Tesla is a business system. So is every business. And the most successful ones are doing well. So hit the QR code. Let's chat. Let's connect and talk. Okay? 3 types of income, and they go with those types of business. As we discussed previously, the poor middle class go to a job, make earned income. They exchange time for money. If you exchange time for money, there's a limit to that. Okay? And a whole bunch of other stuff. We'll get into that another time. Second type of income is portfolio income. If you invest in the stock market or you invest in real estate, then those entities, the companies you invested in, the business you invested in, or the real estate you invested in is your portfolio, and that portfolio can develop income for you. Third is passive income, okay? And that can be done any number of ways where you don't have to get up every morning and create income, okay? But let me ask you guys a question. What's your FSN, your financial security number? How much do you have to have saved to hit your passive income, monthly passive income, monthly cash flow goal? Okay. Now, what I want to show you that some of this it came off the screen a little bit, but I'm going to talk you through this. Okay. I'm going to talk you through this. Let's just say at age 65, you wanted to have a monthly income of $5,000. You see that? That's $60,000 annually after taxes. How much money would you have to have saved to do that? Well, $1.5 million. Why is that? Because the S&P 500, the stock market, overall, the top 500 companies in the stock market, when you look at their growth over the past 100 years, it's typically averaged about 8%. Now, it doesn't do 8% a year because some years it's way down, some years it's up, but on average, it's done about 8%. There's a financial rule called the rule of 72. How does that work? Well, if you take the number 72, divided by that 8%, it says your money's going to double every 9 years. So if you got 8% return on your money every year, it would double every 9 years. Now, is it going to do that? Not exactly, but that's the concept, okay? And we can get pretty close. So let's say at 65, you wanted to have that 6,000 coming in and 5,000 coming in, okay, which is 4% of 1.5 million. Why 4%? Well, if I'm getting 8% on my money and you build in, let's say, 3% for inflation, okay, then if I take out 4%, there's 1% left. Now, what I don't want to do is I don't want to take more money out of my account than I'm earning in interest every year, because then I'll start to run out of money, because I'll be taking out all the interest plus some. And then the pot will start getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. So I want to take out less money than I'm earning in interest on the account. So if I'm earning on 8%, I don't want to take out 8%. So to be conservative, I'm saying 4%. You follow me on that? You got that? Okay. So if I'm going to take 4% out of this pot of money every year, how big a pot do I need? $1.5 million sitting in that pot that you can take 4% out of every year, and that pot's growing at 8% a year. $1.5 million. Yes, sir, boss. How are you doing on that number right now? So what age do you think people fall behind? Well, I'm going to show you. If at 65, you need $1.5 million, and we said the rule of 72 said every 9 years this is going to double. So if I back up 9 years to 56, I need to have 750,000 saved. Anybody out there 56? You need 750 saved. If you're 47, back another 9 years, you need 375,000 saved. If you're 38, you need 187.5. If you're 29, you need 93,750. If you're 20, You're not even out of college yet. For most people, you need almost 50 grand, 46, 875. How many 20-year-olds do you think don't have almost 50 grand saved and invested for their future? Let's go back 9 more years. You're 11 years old. How much do you have to have? 23 grand. At 11. How many 11-year-olds? They're in sixth grade. Are you kidding me? They're in sixth grade and they're already behind on their financial security number? What sixth grader is thinking about that? I need to have $1.5 million. Huh? You tell me. Look, at 2 years old, you need to have 12 grand. And at minus 7 years old, you need to have $6,000. So when you start falling behind saving for your retirement, before you were born, you were already behind. 7 years back, you were already behind. So at birth, bam, you're 6 grand behind. At minus 7 years old, you're 6 grand behind. So that's why when somebody has a baby, what they need to do is we've got an account called $1 million baby account. You need to set one of those up. The money grows tax deferred. You can take it out tax free. And instead of having baby showers and getting Pampers, have baby showers and get money. Don't be buying no toys. I need 6 grand for this kid as soon as possible. Hello? That's the reality of it. Make sense? You tracking with me? I hope so. So what we do to help people, whether we work together or not, you can use this video to help you put this together. But there are 8 financial breakthroughs that you're going to have to deal with. Okay? One is becoming financially aware. That's what we just did a little bit. I made you financially aware that at birth you need to have 6 grand set aside or you're falling behind financially. $6 grand. So are you aware of your personality as it relates to money? Are you a saver? Are you a spender? Are you fearful? Are you worried? Are you bold? Are you a giver? Are you a spender? What kind of person are you as it relates to money? And how aware of you are you of your habits as it relates to money? Because all of us have them. So one, we got to deal with your financial awareness. And we got to deal with blind spots. What are blind spots? They're attitudes and actions that all of us have that don't help us, but we can't see them because we can't see our own blind spots. That's why they're called blind spots. Okay, so the first thing we got to do is improve and increase our financial awareness. And doing this financial discovery form will help you to do that. Why that? Why is that? You need to be organized around your financial situation. You need to know what money's coming in, what money's going out, where is it going, why. April 15th is coming up. We need to know how much tax we're going to pay 12 months ago, not 8 weeks from now. Because we have a tax strategy and a tax plan we're working. Okay? So one is financial awareness. The second thing is protection from threats. There are 2 things that'll mess up your financial plan. What do you think they are? 2 things. I'm going to give you a chance to think about it. Give you a chance to think about it. What are the 2 things that can mess up your financial plan? And they're both out of your control. Wow. One is to pass away. A friend of mine just went to a funeral the other day for a 22-year-old. I'm a certain age right now, and you could say I'm old. But here's what my Heavenly Father told me is, Gus, don't say that. Because nobody knows how old they are. They know their current age and they've got today. But if they're called to die tomorrow, they were a lot older than their current age. Hello? So, Gus, don't think about you're old or you're young or you got this many years or you don't. What you got is right now. We need to make some choices and some decisions right now, because tomorrow, at least on earth, is not promised. I'm not gonna die. I'm gonna just move and start living in another place. But my work here on earth will be done when that happens, and then I can't impact it for everybody that's coming behind me. That's why it says a good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children, because he's focused on making the world a better place for his family, financially, educationally, socially, in every way possible. Dad and moms, that's our responsibility. Good man or woman leaves an inheritance to his children. How do they do that? They execute against these 5 financial breakthroughs. They protect themselves against premature death. How do they do that? Having the right amount and type of life insurance. They also protect themselves from getting ill. 40% of the people, look it up, 40% of the people in nursing homes or assisted living facilities, 40% of those people are under 40 years old. Look, I've delivered like 5 death benefits in my career so far. In the 22 years I've been involved in this industry, I've delivered 5 death benefits. 4 of them were people under 40. People get in accidents all the time. People get ill. Things happen where their life doesn't proceed forward the way it's just always gone. Okay? So those 2 threats, we need to have a plan for them. They're not things we can control, but we need to have a plan for them. I had a manager one time, he said, Gus, that's a rubber wheel train. I'm like, what in the world does that have to do with anything? Well, a rubber wheel train is big and it's fast, but it's quiet. If the wheels are rubber on a train, what would you hear as it was coming down the track? Nothing. And that bad boy hits you, man, knock you for a loop. So dying and almost dying are rubber wheel trains in our life. We need to protect ourselves from them. Amen. Amen. Cash flow today. We need cash flow running through our house today. Some of you know, and I know Renee and I know by week how much money needs to be in the account to pay all of our obligations. How much money needs to be in your account to pay all your obligations? That's cash flow today. Wouldn't it be neat to have 6 months of that money, 12 months of that money in an account already where you didn't have to worry about it? How about it? Would life be a lot easier with that level of savings? Yes, it would. So let's put a plan together to get you there. Your debt to income ratio. Debt isn't necessarily bad depending on how you use it and how much you have. We want to manage your debt to income ratio in such a way that it benefits you. So we're going to take a look at that. What's your debt to income ratio? How liquid are you? How much cash do you have on hand so that, one, you can take care of your financial responsibilities at home, but 2, you can take advantage of deals in the marketplace on stocks and bonds, on other kinds of investments, on buying a company. All kinds of things are for sale. But if you don't have the cash flow to deal with it, you're not liquid. You can't do anything about it. So we want to get you liquid. Next thing is future income and net worth. We want to plan your future income and your net worth. How far ahead are you thinking about your income and what it's going to be, how you're going to make it, what your tax liability is going to be, when that happens? What kind of plan do you have to leave it to your children's children? That's number 7, legacy and succession plan. We start talking about that because you're not going to be able to do that business or do whatever you're doing to make money forever. You need to have a legacy and succession plan. So we need to protect our assets with certain legal structures. Okay, in case accidents happen, you're not thrown under the bus, so to speak. Okay, so you want to get that financial discovery done. And one of the things it does that's most important is accountability. Okay, just think about that. 8 financial breakthroughs: financial awareness, protection from threats, having your cash flow where it needs to be today, managing your debt to income ratio, having liquidity so you can take advantage of opportunities. What's your future income going to be? A legacy and succession plan and accountability. Like I say, hit that QR code. Let's connect. All right. The purpose of financial discovery is to develop a plan that organizes your finance to create a financially independent, debt-free family, a financially secure family. And that financial security number or independence number it's an idea this time has come. And we need to harness the power of your family to make that happen. Okay? So sometime in the future, your investments, real estate, businesses, and intellectual property will be greater than your monthly expenses. You'll no longer have to work up every day wondering how you're going to make ends meet, so to speak. Does that sound like a good place to be? You may not call that, I don't know what you call it. I don't call it retirement, but it's financially secure. So you don't have to get up in the morning and do anything for money if you don't want to. Now, we got to start where we are today. Part of doing financial discovery is to figure out which one of these cash flow positions are you in. Is your income greater than your expenses? Where you have a positive margin or cash flow? Is your income equal to your expenses where really the margin is not there, is very negligible? Or is your income way lower than your expenses and you got money to do stuff with? Which situation are you in? I'm not asking you to tell me right now, but hit me up on the email. Let me know which one you're in so we can sit down and talk through what some opportunities would be for you. Okay? But you're in one of these 3 positions. For GPS to be of any good, it's got to have a starting point. And it's got to have an ending point if it's going to get to where you're at. So we need those specific coordinates. It's a specific plan to get to a specific place as soon as possible. You know, the little girl was with her dad, and they were driving down the street, and they went by this church. Church had a big sign out front, revival next Wednesday. And they gave the picture of the speaker guy and what time it was going to start. And the little girl asked her Dad, what's a revival? Dad explained it. He said, is that a good thing, Dad? Oh, that's a great thing. That's a great thing to have happen, for a university. And then he breaks down why that's a good thing and why they ought to be happy and stuff like that. So we went ballistic, saying, wow, that's awesome. That revival was a good thing. Revival was a good thing. Then she asked her dad a question. Dad, I'm excited about this revival idea, but why do they wait till next Wednesday to do it? If it's such a good thing, why don't they do it now? Getting your financial discovery done, figuring out where you're at and where you're going to go, which is the first step in developing your plan, is you got a bunch of dreams and goals. We got to get them down on paper. Then we got to see where you're at now so we can plot out how we're going to get there. Does that make sense? So our 30 minutes, our time is up for this week, but that's where we got to get to as soon as possible with you through that financial discovery tool is which cash position are you in? Cash flow position every month. Is it positive, zero, or negative? We need to know that yesterday, guys, so we can put this plan in place for you to get where you want to be. All right, you guys have a good weekend, rest of the weekend, and we'll talk to you soon. Financial Freedom Fridays with Gus Tucker. We're excited to have you here. Like, subscribe, share with other people. We can start having guests on here shortly from our network. It's going to be a great time. So, hey, as a friend of mine says, no, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to steal his line. But look, guys, don't be a victim. Don't blame anybody else for your circumstances. Let's take control of our circumstances, okay? And let's make them work on our behalf. Nothing's done to you, it's done for you. Okay? All right. You guys have a good day. We're going to pick right up where we left off next week. Bye-bye.